Hi there, Miles Hudson here. I've got a copy of my new novel, The Times of Malthus, and I'm going to read you the first few pages so you can get the hang of what's going on, at least at the start of the story. Okay, I'm sitting comfortably. Here we go. Friday, the 18th of May, 2040. Some way into our future. It's our only chance. We've got to get away from this place or we'll all be dead in a month. Loshie's whisper sounded loud in the dark at the back wall of their small beachfront hideout. Shh! They'll hear us. Ellie took a hand away from Clara's mouth and put it over Loshie's instead. King Alfred continued barking intermittently. Through the sliver of a gap where the solid oak door met the doorframe, Ellie could make out the silhouette of a figure wavering back and forth. She felt the solid wall against her shoulder and hoped he would give up searching for them. 4 women and a dog in a one-room brick hut under Brighton's main promenade road would be easy pickings for the raiders from along the coast. So far, though, the men would only know for sure that a dog was present behind the thick door. The summer heat was stifling as the 2 women and 2 children crouched together. Ellie could feel sweat from Loshie's face trickling over her fingers. Loshie pulled her head away from Ellie's hand and hissed, "They'll kill us and probably eat us. If not today, then tomorrow or next week." Ellie whispered straight into Loshie's ear, "If you don't shut up, it will be today." The lumbering figure pressed its head right up to the gap. The women froze and clutched hands back over the mouths of their daughter. Ellie closed her eyes and held her breath. King Alfred charged the door, now growling. The shadow jerked back, probably only able to make out a pair of red eyes hurling themselves towards the door. Angry dog pheromones were bound to have permeated the man's nose. Ellie smiled at the thought that the Essex raider outside their beachside stronghold was probably just as grateful for the thick door as she and Loshie were in that moment. The brute moved away out of view, but they could hear little over King Alfred's ongoing barks and growls. "Alfie, shush!" Ellie wanted to gain as much intelligence about the raiding party as possible without being seen, heard or discovered. "Lucky they left their dog locked in. Sounds right vicious." The drawling accent from a few miles away was easy for Ellie to differentiate from the more trill Brighton voices she'd grown up with. Definitely Essex Raiders. It wasn't a great leap of logic. The Essex Raiders were dominant on this stretch of coastline, and she and Loshie had both lost loved ones in battles between them and the Brighton Defence Force. Young Clara had discovered a dead body on the beach, not 200 yards away, only 10 days earlier. "That means there'll be food in there, though," the voices outside continued. Ellie caught her breath and felt Clara tense up. She was only 10 years old, but had grown up with famine and fear. The memorial cairn out front, yards from their door, was a daily reminder of the dangers of living in the times of Malthus. The corpse she had found, stinking on the beach, was a victim of the ever-present violence. He had been dead more than a day by then, and the women had been unable to move his body from the place he fell. May 2040 had been nearly 30 degrees all day, every day. The gushing red fountain from a stomach knife wound was a solid black mass by the time Clara found him. Half the blackness had been the congealed and sun-baked blood, and half had been a swarm of flies born right there into a rich food source. "Well, I'm not about to open the door and let that dog at us." On cue, King Alfred began barking again. Another similar male voice shouted down from the promenade above, "Get up here! We found the motherlode in the hotel up there." Loshie's head turned sharply, just visible in the dim light that crept in around the doorframe. Ellie mouthed, "Did we leave something up there?" Loshie shrugged. The raider at the door called up, Where we found the veg growing on the balconies before? The other voice laughed. Yeah, they never learn. On the roof this time. Proper manna from heaven. The discussion continued at an ever-decreasing volume as the men wandered away. Ellie hugged Clara's skinny body close to her and kissed the top of her daughter's head. King Alfred's barking reduced in tempo until she appeared uncertain as to whether to continue it at all, giving a yap every several seconds. Loshi touched her amulet and the device glowed gently on her forearm, illuminating the whole of the interior of the archway lockup. She turned back and looked Ellie straight in the eye. We cannot stay here. Hereford is only a few days away. It's safe there. The girls will be able to play in the woods and there's enough food for all their people and loads left over. They just give the food away. So you keep saying, but I'm really not sure it actually exists. I mean, Loshi's interruption was sardonic. You don't think Hereford exists? The place they used to make all the cider? You know, the capital of Herefordshire? Her voice squeaked a little at the end. What I'm saying is, I'm not sure it's this Shangri-La safe haven that you say it is. I told you, I met a man who was there only 2 weeks ago. Ellie nodded. She couldn't bring herself to tell her friend that she thought she had become fixated on an idea, a hope, something that would probably destroy them. Well, what's going to happen to Ellie and Loshi? You can find out by getting yourself a copy of the Times of Malthus. It's on Amazon, or you can buy it direct from me, the author, at mileshudson.com. See you later.